Hey guys, it's Virtual from Zenith, and I received a bunch of questions about my last video and how to make the little blocks that I use to correct the errors on some of these pieces. And I mentioned that you should just go look at the voxel library, but it's possible that my voxel library is edited because it does have a block that some people seem to be having trouble finding. That being said, I'm going to show everybody how you can pretty easily make these blocks just with the default tools. And yeah, let's get right into it. So this is probably the first thing I mentioned, what was the problem, is that the tip of this gets cut off, and then I said just go grab the Tetra from the library. But I'm going to show you now how to make that Tetra just with the basic tools. We're going to start off with like a 1x2 wedge. Let's move that up. Yeah, so just like so, and then I'm going to copy it and paste them together. So what I'm doing is I'm actually making the shape of the block that I want in a reactor form. And if I take and grab two of these, so like one of these is to form the block and then the other is to straighten the block. So now we have two of these little reactors. I'll copy one block and just add it in. Galvanized white aluminum, different color, and it does make the spike, right? But then if you smooth down the spike, then you can take this block and paste it in here to straighten it, if it were. And now we have a straight version of that block. And you can paste this block right onto the end of that Tetra in question, and it fixes it, just like so. So this is just like the video, how I had even has a little warp right there. It's the same thing. The only difference between this block that I just made and the block in the library is that this is one block. It's one piece of voxel. And the one in the library is two pieces of voxel. Now mostly this isn't really going to hurt you. However, you do have to be conscientious of the fact, and just keep it in mind. So anyway, we'll get on to the next piece that I talked about that was problematic to build, which was, let me make it real quick. So we're just going to cut this off, which was this piece here. So I said just delete this and then paste the block into it and it fixes it, but it's not that easy. So what I do is I actually go ahead and take these Tetra pieces and I paste them onto the big block kind of as a reactor, if it were. Like a really big reactor. Obviously you have to hold shift when you're doing this. So as you can see, these work together really nicely. No problems there, but then we have this to fix. Now we can use the exact same principle that we used here to make the bigger block. We can just use the Tetras and make another reactor. This is a little bit janky, however, but it does seem to work alright. So I'll paste one there, one there, and then one there, and then we can put a block inside of them, and it'll straighten out the block for us. Just like that. Now we have that straight block, and we can take this piece, copy it, set it to the same color, and paste it in like that. Maybe it needs to hold shift, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but there you go. So that's that block that I've built. And that seems to work pretty well. Now, unfortunately, see if I can fix that. I actually haven't tried. Yeah, so we can do that to fix that. Now, unfortunately, if you copy the block out, it doesn't end up being perfect. 8x8x1. So you actually get it with a little bit of a warble on the end, as you can see. However, that's not the end of the world. And actually, if you watched my Hermes tutorial when I built the large core ship, that block that I used actually had a little warble on the end like that. And it didn't really affect anything, and the reason for that is because the Tetra actually straightens it when you paste it on top, just because of the nature of how this works. So when you paste the Tetra on it, it actually just straightens it. And so it's not actually the end of the world there. But anyway, that's how you can make those blocks. Some people asked also about the 1x1 Tetra, and the 1x1 Tetra is really useful for fixing errors. Like sometimes when you paste like this, let me see if I can make it happen. So some people would put like a block here, right, and it actually causes this problem. And you can use this same block. You probably want to keep this guy around because he's so useful. Use the same block and fix this problem. Yeah, and with blocks like that, so it's really useful like that. But anyway, with something like this, like I mentioned, I think also in the video, it's best to paste it on, so that you don't get any crazy issues. And as you can see, when I pasted it, works. But that's always something to keep in mind. But these blocks up here are useful for fixing errors. For the 1x1 Tetra, it's exactly the same. I have a video on it earlier that is more in depth on how to make it, but I'll go ahead and show you real quick just how to put that together, just in case you guys don't want to go find the other video. It's not useful for what we're working on right now. Now we can actually use the new and improved method for this block. So instead of making an actual reactor, let me move this up, I can't actually see it. Instead of making a reactor with like 8 square voxels and then smoothing it down, we can just make a reactor using wedges, which is a better way to do it. So like you can see here, we're outlining the shape. So we have one reactor to form it, and then one reactor to straighten it. You can take a block, paste the block into it, smooth the block down, take that block, paste it into the straightening reactor, and there's the 1x1 Tetra piece that I showed in the video. Anyway, I hope this was useful. I think that I hope that I answered everyone's question all at the same time. If you asked me some things on Discord or in the comments I didn't get back to you, I'm sorry. I don't have enough time to answer like 100 questions. So I make the video. And anyway, this should work out for you guys. You should be able to make whatever you need with this method. And yep, I apologize for not pointing this out in the other video. Anyway, if this helped you out and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button. I'll see you guys later in the next one. Bye.